Hi guys, I'm Jayadhar Gupta, founder of Nirvana Being. I'm a clean air activist and entrepreneur. Today I want to talk about how do we protect ourselves from air pollution, and what are the health effects of air pollution. Actually, let me talk about the health effects first, and then I'll talk about how we protect ourselves. So air pollution, let me put things in perspective a little bit. In 2020, which I think was the worst year for COVID, or even beyond 2020, to 2.5 years of COVID, we've lost about 500,000 lives to COVID. But air pollution annually kills about 1.5 to 2 million people in India, and this is what is documented. Undocumented, I'm not even aware. Air pollution is certainly a bigger problem and a bigger issue, and it starts with respiratory problems. It'll start with just feeling just down mentally, emotionally. I mean, just imagine you're looking at gray skies, everything is gray around you, you can see the smog. It's just not positive in any way. So it could lead to depression, it could lead to hypertension. Of course, the bigger problem is as these particles, which are essentially black carbon nanoparticles, and they're so small that they beat the natural filters of our body. As they go into our lungs and through our lungs go into our bloodstream, in our lungs they not only create respiratory issues of COPD, or even before that maybe wheezing and allergies, and then COPD, and maybe even lung cancer. But once these black carbon nanoparticles through the alveoli get into our bloodstream, I mean, all bets are off. I mean, then you're talking about neuro issues of the brain, you're talking about cardiovascular issues, you're talking about autoimmune issues, you're talking about infertility. It goes on and on and on. I mean, really, the only system that is kind of off limits for these black carbon nanoparticles is your gastro system. So everything else then gets impacted by these black carbon nanoparticles. So not only do we have to change our methods and ways to reduce our emissions and our carbon footprint, but in the now we also have a responsibility to protect ourselves. The easiest way to protect yourself is by putting on a fitted N95 mask. I mean, make sure the mask is your size, so it's fitted. Make sure it filters, see the certifications, make sure that it filters nanoparticles down to 0.3 microns, or if you can find a mask that filters down to 0.1 micron, that's even better. Now you have some masks that are built with electrospun nanofiber filters that can filter down to 0.1 micron. Imperative. Make sure your mask is reusable. If you're using disposable masks, it kind of defeats the purpose because you're creating so much more waste. And again, I'm a huge proponent of masks with electrospun nanofiber filters, just because the breathing resistance is really low as well. So it puts a lot less pressure on your heart and your body because there is a resistance when you breathe through a mask. So that's important as well. So that's when you're outdoors, or even out in not in a micro environment. But when you are in a micro environment like I am in my office, we have the use of air purifiers. Again, not all air purifiers are created equal. There are air purifiers which were created for conditions like London and Singapore and so on, where the AQI doesn't exceed 150, and there are other kind of machines which are called ULPA machines, ultra low particle arresters. So these are actually medical grade machines, and our conditions are so severe here in North India that I highly advise the use of these ultra low particle arresters, because we need to get down to particle sizes that are down to 0.1 micron or even smaller, and we need to get to them with like a 99.999% efficacy, which normal air purifiers are not able to do. So the ULPA machines have the square footage of HEPA filters inside, and the grade of HEPA that's inside ULPA machines is very different. And then of course the size of the machine depends on the size of your room, the volume of air in the room. I usually love to see, because our conditions are so severe, at least 5 to 6 air changes in an hour, every hour. So the entire volume of air in the room must pass through the machine at least 5 to 6 times in an hour for that machine to be effective. You have the masks, you have the air purifiers, you have fabulous solutions now for your cars. Earlier we used to have clunky car cabin air purifiers that got in the way, and your armrest and everything, and you had wires running. Now we have beautiful solutions that use molecular technology and fit into your air conditioner of your car, so that all the air coming in is pre-filtered and removes PM 2.5. These are called car cabin filters, and they fit into the AC slot that's behind your glove compartment, so there's nothing disturbing your car cabin space. Lastly, of course, we have lots of big spaces where we have centralized air conditioning, and there are some fabulous green and sustainable solutions for that, with filters that are more 14 rated or higher. And these are filters that don't require any changing. So these are washable filters because they are electronic filters, and the energy consumption of your air conditioning units also drop, because these are not they don't create any resistance. These are not media filters that create resistance. So there's a solution for everything, and go to nirvanabeing.com if you need more information, or reach out to us if you need help or advice with anything, or if you even want us to just come in and do a free air quality kind of test where you are. There's loads of problems. I mean, if you're near the Yamuna or a Nala or any water body, then you're talking about other problems of sulfur dioxide and so on. So depending on where you are, you could have a whole cocktail of problems, because air pollution is not a simple subject. It's pretty complex, complicated. But the good news is that we have monitoring equipments where we can check for everything, and then once we identify a problem, then we can quickly solve for it. So good luck. Be aware, be safe, and be healthy. Thank you.